Well, Jamsters, time for another jam session short. A jort, if you will. Yes, I'm coming to you live from my truck in the parking lot of where I work. Why? Because the possibility of Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns is increasing by the moment. Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out that today Kevin Durant went into the owner of the Nets and said, hey, I want to trade. I want out of here. Kyrie Irving, that whole situation, Kevin Durant kind of, he banked on Kyrie. He said, hey, Kyrie, I want to play with you in Brooklyn. So when his time was up in Golden State, he thought he had partnered with somebody who, respectfully, Kevin Durant wanted to play basketball with. Why? Well, because Kyrie Irving, from a talent standpoint, is an absolutely epic basketball player. He's unique. He's one of a kind. And let's face it, Kevin Durant is a basketball head, right? Like, he loves basketball. So when you see somebody like a Kyrie Irving as a talent to go play with, and the possibility existed a few seasons ago to do so, Kevin Durant jumped at the opportunity. Guess what happened? The Kyrie Irving experience happened. The guy is about me, not we. And as much as you can respect Kyrie Irving as a basketball talent, you have to understand that personally, he is just kind of a different cat. Good, bad, or indifferent. You do you, boo. Your body, your party, whatever. Whatever you want to do. The politics aside, whatever. But Kevin Durant's hit that point in his career, 34 years old, still has a $4 years left on his massive contract. He's decided that he wants an opportunity to go win and play with like minds, competitors, people who want to go and win a championship. So, again, he has announced that he wants to leave the Brooklyn Nets due to the Kyrie Irving situation. And who's at the top of his list? The Phoenix Suns, baby. Now, granted, they said the Miami Heat as well. And obviously, the Nets are going to try to do what is in their best interest to garner the most assets possible for Kevin Durant. The fact that I'm sitting in a parking lot talking to you all about this, my audio is probably not that great. I don't even care. The fact that we're talking about potentially Kevin Durant coming to the Phoenix Suns makes my heart flutter a little bit. I've said it multiple times. Matthew and I do the Jamster Awards, the Jammies, if you will. And I talk about how Kevin Durant is my favorite player who's not a member of the Phoenix Suns, and how fun it was to root for him during the Olympics last year when he played alongside Devin Booker. Because, man, he's a killer. He's a killer. So to think that we have the opportunity to bring this guy to Phoenix to start with, emotionally, it's fucking fantastic. Now, the question becomes, what's in the package? Just as Christopher Stewart says right there in the comments, watching along live. Shout out to you guys who are watching along live right now too. God, we're so excited, man. Here we are in June. It's almost July 1st. And it's like, dude, let's go. And just a reminder, everybody, Matthew and I are going live tonight at 8:30. We will be having a podcast as free agency kind of kicks off, if you will, at 9 p.m. Arizona time. So make sure you tune in tonight for that. So what does a Kevin Durant package involve? Well, there's a lot of things that could happen. The easy answer to this is like DeAndre Ayton, right? Like, you can package some sort of deal with DeAndre Ayton with some picks, a couple other assets, maybe a Jay Crowder outgoing, and that garners bringing Kevin Durant to the Valley of the Sun. That's kind of a best case scenario for me, personally. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton has to play ball, right? Like, the Phoenix Suns have tendered a qualifying offer to DeAndre Ayton at this point, the $16.9 million contract, right? He can go forth and try to see what other teams are going to offer him. So if James Jones isn't quick on the buttons, right, texting away, right, if he's not quick, DeAndre Ayton can go out tomorrow or tonight, is probably already working on it with his agent, and go get like a qualifying offer from the Indiana Pacers, right? Max deal from the Indiana Pacers. Well, then Phoenix has to, start working those sign and trade deals. It becomes it's not impossible or even improbable, but it just makes the situation just a little bit more tough, right? Whatever the Phoenix Suns have to do, it just becomes a little bit more harder. But that's okay. Everything you want's on the other side of hard, right, James Jones? So I think the one asset a lot of Phoenix Suns fans would tear up a little bit about is knowing that Mikal Bridges potentially might have to be a part of a deal to bring Kevin Durant to Phoenix. And that's where we, as Phoenix Suns fans, have to process that possibility. How do we feel about Mikal Bridges potentially not playing for us anymore? You give me Kevin Durant, I don't know if I care. Like, I love you, Mikal. We love you, Mikal. You're one of us. You're somebody with the Phoenix Suns stepped up, brought in, second in place in the Defensive Player of the Year debate. Should have won it, in my personal opinion. First team all defense. It's kind of the asset the Nets are probably looking for, right? You want picks. You want to bring in a young talent like that. And then it becomes, and here's one thing I don't want to hear from people. Or, you know what? I don't care. You can say it if you want. I just won't agree with it because anyone can say whatever they want. So you can tell me, and I don't care. I don't have to accept it as my mode of thinking, right? Say whatever you want. Free country. Kevin Durant, at the end of this contract, will be 38 years old. If it brings us a championship, I don't give a shit. Bring him here. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and then we have to fill out the fringes of this roster. We have to see what what transactions have to do or have to go. Shout out to He's on Fire podcast, by the way, for tuning in. Just said that Gallinari is getting waived, by the way. He was part of that transaction that sent DeJounte Murray to the Hawks, something we will definitely be talking about on tonight's edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. So again, somebody potentially who could be a fill-in kind of roster move for the Suns. Because again, you bring Kevin Durant here, a lot of those little pieces start to trickle in, right? I mean, think of players like Malik Monk last year who joined the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I'm not saying Malik Monk is an all-star. I'm not even saying he's a good rotational player, right? He went and he took a $1.7 million veteran minimum deal in Los Angeles simply to play along players like LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, right? You have Booker, Paul, and Durant here. Guess what? You'll probably catch a couple deals out there. It puts you in the situation to catch a couple deals out there. So the fringe side of the roster can be filled out potentially with some veteran minimum deals. And if James Jones could somehow, some way, put some value on the name of Landry Shamet, God, that would be great. Get rid of that contract. You know, so in my personal opinion, everybody's available to trade to the Brooklyn Nets outside of Devin Booker. You just don't do that. You don't do that. You don't trade a young asset for an old asset like that. What you're supposed to do is put those assets around Devin Booker that say, this is what we're doing to help you get to that, to win the championship. Let's bring that Larry O'Brien to the Valley of the Sun. But again, the sheer fact that we can sit here, what time is it now? 12:42 Arizona time. And as of this moment, the potential exists for Kevin Durant to come here. As we've talked about, you know, the speculation's been everywhere, right? Fanning the Flames podcast, talking about bringing KD. Coast to Coast podcast, talking about bringing KD. Right? The Solar Panel podcast, talking about bringing KD. Everybody, it's what we've been talking about. But now those blocks are falling into place. Everything Flex was saying is kind of falling into place now, right? Kind of reminds me of a little Chris Paul situation a couple years ago. Now the ball is definitely in James Jones's court. He's got to put together the right deal, mortgage the future. Do it. Mortgage the future. Get us a championship now. To root for Kevin Durant as a member of the Phoenix Suns, it would be sublime. It would be sublime indeed. Why not put him in jersey number 35? Make us forget Dragon Bender completely, right? But obviously, plenty more to come. If any transaction happens, I'm going to hop right back on here and do another jam session, jort, if you will, a jam session short. But I appreciate everyone who's tuned in to watch this kind of quick little dissertation. I think I got to get back to work. So a reminder tonight, Matthew and I will be going live 8:30 Arizona time to talk about everything pertaining to free agency. Got to hear Matthew's point of view on this as well, obviously. My partner in crime is a huge Kevin Durant fan as well. So we will be coming to you live tonight as free agency is upon us. But until then, remember, subscribe, rate, and review, hit that thumbs up button down below, and we'll see you later tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's go.